Fight Night, only on DAZN.
We are live from beautiful Montreal, Quebec, Canada, one of the hotbeds of boxing anywhere on the planet and ground zero for boxing in Canada as we present Most Valuable Prospects 15 live from the Théâtre Saint-Denis, the first time that boxing has been back inside these walls since 1961. A historic occasion here tonight, and what a way to top it off later on tonight with that main event between Sol Cudos and Montreal's own Kim Clavel, the IBF mini flyweight title on the line. Hello everyone, I am Corey Erdman alongside Dan Canobio and Nonito Donaire. Pleased to be calling the action for you all night long here from ringside. What a fantastic card, guys, we have here tonight. We saw the main card, but we've got plenty of action on the prelims as well.
Oh, I cannot wait. The prelims are where the real action goes down, Nonito.
All the time.
By Juana Walton. I know he has a ton of his fans in the chat already, but we have a big one coming up right off the bat.
Yes, sir. Some local flavor as we take a look at the tail of the tape, our opening contest between Loic Lahaye of Sherbrooke, Quebec, about 2 hours up the road from here in Montreal, taking on Jose Madrigal of Guadalajara, Mexico. And with that, let's send it up to the center of the ring to our ring announcer, Christian Gauthier.
Mesdames et messieurs, bonsoir, bienvenue à l'espace Saint-Denis et à ce gala Most Valuable Prospects 15, une présentation de Groupe Yvon Michel, promoteur principal de cet événement, en collaboration avec Most Valuable Promotions, Jake Paul et Nikisa Bedarian, et mettant en vedette Kim Clavel contre Sol Cudos pour le championnat mondial des poids pailles de la IBF, en direct à DAZN. Accueillons d'abord vers le ring pour le premier combat de ce soir, 6 rounds chez les poids moyens, dans le coin rouge, Jose Madrigal.
So the 30-year-old Jose Madrigal makes his way to the ring, and guys, he basically stepped off the airplane and into the runway towards the ring. Madrigal arrived this morning, made the contracted weight, and is now stepping in the ring right now. What a day it's been for Madrigal.
Hey, listen, I've been there before where I was the 1 day notice, 2 days notice kind of guy. You know, you never know. You know, they have nothing to lose, and their mindset is, you know what? Forget it. I'm here. I'll make it happen.
Bleu de Sherbrooke, Loic Lights On Lahaye.
So the spotlight is on Lights On Loic Lahaye of Sherbrooke, Quebec. Kicking things off for us here on MVP Prospects 15, the former Canadian National Amateur Champion and 5-time Quebec Provincial Champion. To put that into perspective for some of our American viewers, that's like winning the Golden Gloves in New York, let's say. That is the toughest test that you can have in the amateurs here in Canada.
Battle tested, and now he steps into the pro ranks. He is looking forward to tonight. He says he calls him lights out because lights on, because he knows when the lights go on, he steps up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Montreal, Quebec, Canada, inside the Théâtre Saint-Denis. Tonight's home for Most Valuable Prospects 15, brought to you by Jake Paul and Nikisa Bedarian's Most Valuable Promotions, in association with Groupe Yvon Michel. It has been over 60 years since boxing has been in this venue, and we are honored at MVP to bring it back here in Montreal, Canada. We open our card tonight with 6 3-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Our 3 judges scoring this bout at ringside: Richard Blouin, Nicolas Esnault, and Maurice Josie Guerin. And our referee in charge when the bell rings is Albert Padulo Jr. 2 warriors, 1 fight. Who wants it more? Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with white trim, he weighed in at 158 pounds even. Tonight, he enters the ring with a professional record of 7 victories, opposite 7 defeats, with 6 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And he fights out of Guadalajara, Mexico, introducing Jose Madrigal. And now his opponent, standing across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with silver trim. He stands 5 feet, 11 1/2 inches tall. He weighed in at 156.4 pounds. Tonight, he enters the ring undefeated as a professional, 2 fights, 2 victories. And he fights out of Sherbrooke, Quebec, Canada, introducing Loic Lights on High.
Go, boys. You see the instructions, protect yourself all the time, protege todo el tiempo. Let's go, shake him up. Good luck, guys.
Saw the stare down. Loic Lae, the 23-year-old, towering over Jose Madrigal here in our opener. For a 154-pounder, guys, this is someone in Lae that played college football here for the Sherbrooke Volunteers. So this is a big 154-pounder and a big opportunity for the Quebecois to get things started here. Round 1 scheduled for 6.
You know what I like about Lae right now is he's feinting, you know, just testing the guys' reach and distance and all of that stuff. I really like the way he came into this fight, coming with that feint and that jab and trying to use his range.
Using a lot of strength there on the inside, too. He had a nice grip around the neck of Madrigal. Let him know, hey, I'm the bigger man in here.
Well, you can tell, as I alluded to, by the body composition, that is a tight 154 pounds. This is a guy with a good frame at junior middleweight, and you see that good jab popping out there here in the early going.
Again, that feint right there sets up the jab, sets up all the other shots as well. You know, that's something that he has to kind of do, because he's actually doing really good feint, but he's not doing anything more beyond that. And I'd like to see him throwing a jab and a double jab to set up his big right hand.
See Lae trying to jab to the body there. Nice chopping right hand there from Madrigal, his first spurt of offense as Lae tries to return fire with a right hand of his own.
Oof, that was nice.
Well, Madrigal coming in there with just like any other Mexican fighters, man, just tough guys and ready to fight.
He's got a very colorful box record, Madrigal. 7-7, 7 losses coming, 4 of them by knockout. His 7 wins, 6 knockout wins.
Yeah, true classic all or nothing fighter. And coming into this fight on the back of 4 straight TKO victories, all in less than 5 rounds.
Yeah, he started his career on a 6-fight losing streak, so like props to him for sticking with it.
One thing that Madrigal has to do is you got to press the gas, man. You at least just keep your hands up, because at this distance you'll get beaten up. You'll get tear up apart. You know, distance is his game. Therefore, cut that distance so that you can smother the longer reach fighter. You know, and that's what Madrigal has to do. In terms of skills, you know, Lae has definite more skills and talent than he does.
Well, Nonito, you saw that just a moment ago there. Lae landing that left hook to the body, but Madrigal, he just stands in there and he landed that chopping right hand.
That's you know, it's because for him, he cuts that distance. You know, when you're punching, a lot of the times you step forward, which cuts the distance, and it gives the opportunity for your opponent to hit. Very good right hand from Lae, but Madrigal, again, he's here to fight.
See Lae slipping to the outside with that left hook to the body again, not giving up on that shot. 20 seconds remaining here in the opening frame. Madrigal trying again for that right hand off the ropes. As the seconds tick away here in the opening round. Hard right hand there from Lae. And he looks to leap in behind a left hook. That'll do it for the opening round. What a way to kick things off here in Montreal.
Lae seems very tight in there in that first round. You know, he wanted to hit the guy really as hard as he could. You know, he's trying to set up that jab, that right hand with the jab and the feint, and then he got the body shot in there. You know, but I felt like into this first round, LaHaye was very tight, and granted,
tight in terms of is keeping everything compact, his shots, or tight in like maybe mentality-wise?
Like he wants to just throw all the power,
right,
without setting it up. That's why there's a jab, and he has a great feint. And if he uses that feint, all of that will be given, will open up, and jabs will be able to land properly, and the big shots will come in.
Round 2 underway. Good start for Loic LaHaye, and credit to Jose Madrigal again arriving this morning and landing a couple good shots there in the opening round on LaHaye. And Nonito, it's interesting that you brought up feeling that LaHaye is looking a little bit tight right now, because he talked about his pro debut, his first 2 fights, and he said, I thought I would be more stressed than I was. He almost anticipated being a little bit tight in some of these early fights, and that, I guess you can understand that for a young fighter.
Yeah. Well, right now, he started really well in this second round. He's moving his head, he's moving his body. He's not just keeping himself stagnant or stationary to be hit with that overhand or something coming from Madrigal. But right now, he's moving that straight. He's setting it up with the jab, and he's moving his body. So he's feeling a little bit more fluid in this round from what I see.
Nice counter there from him.
Yeah, that's another shot again there from Madrigal.
He's sneaky, he's crafty. 50 plus pro rounds. Madrigal's only got 8, so we'll learn something tonight.
That was a
left hook there from LaHaye, and that was in that spot, Nonito, on the temple that tends to wobble fighters.
He's wobbled.
And it has happened once again. There's that left hook over the top from LaHaye.
And Madrigal, he's holding on for dear life now. That temple shot, you nailed it, Corey, and then he followed it up, and he's been really dedicating to the body too, Nonito.
Yep.
In between,
There's another body shot, and down goes Madrigal.
It's that overhand that kind of got him on top of the head,
That Golovkin shot over the top.
Yes. But now, again, LaHaye is very confident, and he just needs to keep that distance like he has and utilize his range. When the reason the left hook, good body shot.
Left hook to the body. Madrigal all over the place. And for the former football player, Loic LaHaye, the playbook has opened up for him here offensively.
And he's completing bombs downfield.
Close to a minute remaining here in round 2 for Loic LaHaye to close the show. Hard right hand, and down goes Madrigal, and that is it. C'est fini. Loic LaHaye with the knockout victory.
Listen, he has a lot of power, a lot of talent. I'm very impressed with what he showed today. With the jab, with just the overall skills that he has for somebody who just has 2 fights.
He calls himself lights on. He said, when those lights go on, I show up and perform. Second round stoppage. Something to keep an eye on at 154 pounds.
When you have
off for Madrigal, Nonito.
when you have the power, you're always going to be that person. You always have a chance in this game when you have power, and he showed tonight, that he has that power as well.
Pride of the Sherbrooke Boxing Club, Loic LaHaye, the 23-year-old. As we take a look back at how he closed the show here tonight.
Very composed, too. That overhand that landed on the top, that's what wobbled Madrigal. That was the beginning of the end for him. I feel like he never had his footing after that initial shot.
Well, when he got hit with that left hook from the very beginning, that's when his legs started to wobble. And then the second one coming in here, which was, I believe it was the body shot.
That's what I mean. It was equally as impressive. He was going upstairs, downstairs, so Madrigal had no idea what was coming.
Yes.
All right, here's the final combination that ended the fight.
LaHaye got a lot of power, and one thing that impressed me was he was, like you said, Dan, he was punching to the head, he was punching to the body, he was mixing it up. He wasn't just head hunting.
So Loic LaHaye celebrating at center ring. It's Sherbrooke versus everybody here tonight. Let's make this one official as we send it back up to Big Mo.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Albert Perdulo Jr. calls a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 16 seconds of the very first round, declaring your winner by TKO and still undefeated, Loic. Lights on! Lahey!
So a big win for Loic Lahey in our opening contest, now 3-0. The pride of Sherbrooke, Quebec. And Loic Lahey is standing by with the fourth member of our broadcast team, Ariel Helwani.
All right, guys, I'm here with the pride of Sherbrooke. It sounds like we're in Sherbrooke right here and now with this reception that you got from this great crowd. Loic, congratulations on another great victory. You're now 3-0 as a pro. How impressed and how happy are you with your performance tonight?
First of all, thank you all. Thank you, Sherbrooke. Thank you, all the people who are here. And I'm happy, but I got a lot of improvement to do, but I love my performance.
Je vais parler aux partisans français aussi parce que je pense que français est un peu plus facile pour toi.
Exactement. Merci à tout le monde. J'apprécie vraiment. Je vous l'avais dit que ça allait être tout un show. Puis on a eu la job. Let's go.
I have to ask you. Je dois te demander. Tu as dit qu'il y a des choses que tu veux faire plus mieux la prochaine fois. You said that there are things that you want to do better the next time. Comme quoi? Parce que ça c'était très vite. Combat. This was a very quick fight. What could you improve on?
Take my time. Juste prendre mon temps dans mes décisions. Prendre mon jab, feinter. When I got him hurt is because I feint my right and I come back with my left. So it was creativity, and I think I got to improve in this era.
Well, you are well on your way. Congratulations. Félicitations. Montreal, one more time for the undefeated, the pride of Sherbrooke, Loic Lahey.
Thank you so much, Ariel. A fantastic performance from Loic Lahey to kick off our broadcast here tonight. Certainly sending the Sherbrooke fans home happy. They made the 2-hour drive down here, and they got what they paid for. Big win for Loic Lahey. So we are underway here in Montreal. We welcome you ringside. Corey Erdman, Dan Canobio, the Filipino Flash, Nonito Donaire, all building up to our main event a little bit later on. Sol Cudos taking on Kim Clavel, the IBF mini flyweight title on the line. And I'm sure we're going to use this pun more than once, but kudos to Sol Cudos in her first defense, going on the road against one of the most established fighters in this weight neighborhood to make her first title defense. I mean, that is courageous.
I feel like that's the difference between men and women's boxing right now. Is women take more chances, they take more risks, they have more opportunities, and we're seeing that tonight with Sol Cudos, who is a very aggressive fighter. She is coming off of a controversial split decision win, Nonito, but she is the champ, and she steps in there with a local hometown hero, Kim Clavel. I cannot wait for this main event.
Well, you got to understand, even though she is the champion, she's coming in here feeling like a challenger, coming in knowing that the fight ended in that split, close fight, and then you're coming in here with a person who's been a world champion in her territory. I mean, in your mind, you know, I got to make this happen. But Clavel has that emotional support from everybody here, and that's a very, very important part to be fighting in your ground. You know, it gives you a lot of motivation.
Well, you mentioned this is indeed Kim Clavel territory. The former world champion at 108 pounds, lost that title back in 2022, has been rebuilding, and now is down at 105. And listen, fighters moving down to win a second world title, that doesn't happen all that often. And I know, Nonito, you can speak to this. I know people will say, hey, 108 to 105, it's only 3 pounds. But in terms of percentage of your body weight in this territory, that is a big ask.
It is. People don't understand that the smaller that you are, the harder it is to go down in weight. I mean, I've done it. You know, it's all the discipline. And I believe that Clavel coming in here, she's very motivated and she's very inspired for this title shot and coming down in weight and getting a second title division. I mean, it's again, motivated from the people, motivated for this opportunity.
Yeah, and 35 years old too. How many more chances will you get? You know, like this is a huge opportunity for Clavel, and to do it here in her hometown, you know, first fight with MVP, you know, that's a lot. I can know she's probably feeling a little bit of the nerves right now, but also a lot of excitement.
All right, well, that's our main event coming up a little bit later on. This place is going to be fired up for that one, but we're going to stick in and around this weight neighborhood in women's boxing for our next contest here on the prelims. We're going to get a look at Naomi Valle. We'll be taking on Federica Macri as we take a look at the tail of the tape. You see the measurables. The height advantage for Macri in this one, identical in terms of reach. Naomi Valle, the 21-year-old, considered one of the top women's boxing prospects in the world.
Place maintenant au deuxième combat de la carte préliminaire, 8 rounds de boxe. Chez les poids pailles, accueillons la combattante du coin rouge, Federica La Cativa Macri.
So here comes Federica Macri, the pride of Italy, heading into this contest. Such an interesting origin story for Macri in terms of starting to box. Dan, she actually saw an infomercial, a commercial on television that said, hey, you can come train. There's a boxing school over here. Very old school way of doing things, like picking up the phone and saying, yeah, can I join?
Is that like those 3 in the morning infomercials? Yeah. You wake up on the couch and they're trying to sell you a CD or a mixtape, but this was for boxing? That's amazing. That's an awesome origin story.
It worked out well. Now 6-0-1 and a massive opportunity for her here tonight.
Et accueillons maintenant vers le ring son adversaire boxant dans le coin bleu, Naomi Wonder Woman Valle.
So the Wonder Woman, Naomi Valle, is a woman of many superpowers. She's someone who won basically the Costa Rican version of Dancing with the Stars, talented guitar player, training to become a commercial airline pilot, and one of the best women's fighters at 108 pounds. That's an incredible collection of skills.
Makes me feel like an underachiever in life. I mean, what can't she do? And she's probably a future world champion. I mean, I see her Instagram, and she's out there flying as a pilot. That's exceptional, and I know her sister, a world champion, will be fighting on a big fight coming up for us in November.
There she is.
Yeah, up-and-coming star Naomi Valle at 108 pounds, and you can't go anywhere in Costa Rica without them getting swarmed. They are big-time stars over there.
All right, let's get it up to Big Mo to introduce the fighters.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from the Théâtre Saint-Denis here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, for Most Valuable Prospects 15, brought to you by Jake Paul and Nikisa Badarian's Most Valuable Promotions in association with Group Yvon Michel. We arrive at the light flyweight division, scheduled for 8 2-minute rounds. Our judges scoring this bout at ringside: Richard de Carufel, Guy Gerard, and Sylvain Leblanc. And our referee in charge when the bell rings is Steve St. Germain. 2 warriors, 1 fight. Who wants it more? Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with purple trim. She stands 5 feet, 3 1/2 inches tall. She weighed in at 107 pounds. Tonight, she enters the ring undefeated as a professional, 6 victories, opposite no defeats, and 1 draw, with 1 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And she fights out of Aosta, Italy, introducing Federica La Cativa Macri. And now her opponent standing across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white, navy, and dark red trunks. She stands 5 feet, 1 1/2 inches tall. She weighed in at 106.6 pounds. Tonight, she enters the ring undefeated as a professional. 14 fights, 14 victories, 9 of which coming by way of knockout. And she fights out of San Jose, Costa Rica, introducing MVP's own 21-year-old phenom, introducing Naomi Wonder Woman Valle.
But sir, both belt will be fully acceptable. You both receive my instruction in the locker room. Protect yourself at all time. Listen to my command at all time. Touch gloves. Good luck, both of you.
So we are ready to go with our second contest of the night, our first women's contest of the night. One of the rising stars in women's boxing, a Wonder Woman, Naomi Valle, taking on Federica Macri, who scored a knockout win over Kiratra Hakrasong 14 days ago. Dan, she said she barely was done celebrating that knockout before they received the call for this fight, and they accepted immediately.
That's beautiful. That's the beauty of this sport. No time to celebrate, no time to think about your past win, Nonito. Just get right back in there.
Let's go in there. Hey, but she's coming in here hot, man. Macri, she's like, wow. You know what? I'm going to do the best that I can. I'm going to go out there. She even touched glove with it was rough.
She's pushing the pace right now. She's putting Valle on her back foot.
Valle coming off the first legitimate step up of her young career to this point, an 8-round unanimous decision win over Yelmi Sanchez in Mexico. And Nonito is kind of the first time where Valle lost some rounds on the scorecards, had to make those adjustments. A very impressive step up in the way that she handled it.
That's right, and she's doing really well right now, being pressured. She's jabbing and moving around laterally, which is incredible for a fighter that hasn't had that much fight yet coming in. But you know, Macri's coming in there with overhand as well. But the jab coming from Valle, it sets up that the overhand. You know what she just threw just now.
If Valle she's weathered the storm a little bit early on because Macri has come in and on that front foot. But one thing we know about judges, they do tend to like or favor the fighter that comes forward. And I believe that Macri, if she can keep this pace up, this is definitely her path to victory.
By a triple jab and then with the right hand behind it. And that's one thing that she needs to do is fight in and out, you know. Move, hit and not get hit, throw that jab, step back, and come back. And Macri just has to keep pressuring like she's doing right now.
Valle just maintaining that jab here. Both women extremely busy in the opening round. They've gathered the information, and they will head back to the corners at the end of round one.
And here's the replay on this. You know, Macri coming in with pressure, and here's Valle with the jab and doubling it up and all of that stuff. That's something that she needs to do, tripling it up, actually. You know, and then the right hand come in after that. They're both fighting what they should be doing with Valle coming in with the jabs and setting up the right hand, and then Macri coming in and making it hard and fast for Valle. So they're fighting their game plan, but it's who can establish it more, can really lead this fight.
It's round two underway. Good start for Federica Macri, bringing the fight to Naomi Valle, as we saw in the opening round. And Dan, this is also the kind of test that Valle said she was looking forward to. You know, stepping up the level of opposition also means that you get to display your own skills. And she said, imagine what I'll look like when I actually get to show my whole repertoire.
Exactly. These are the fights you need in your development. You know, Naomi is 14-0. She's got 9 stoppages. She's a star over in her home country, but now she's fighting here in a new country, and she's getting acclimated to the country, and she'll get acclimated in the ring because those jabs are starting to find a home.
Definitely the jab is something that can be utilized for Valle, which sets everything up. But I like the step back and then the counter after that Valle is doing right now. And then, of course, the lateral movement, which is incredible.
Because Macri's coming in. I actually had Macri win in the first round off of just come forward. But you're right. That's how Valle is going to win this fight, is weathering the storm, stepping back a little bit, landing rights like that.
And setting it up, you know? And setting it up where Valle is going Macri is going to reach in to be countered, or the headbutt.
How aggressively Macri's coming forward. That headbutt seemed like an inevitability in this fight as Valle places another good right hand right down the pipe.
Macri smiles after that, by the way.
Well, that's an interesting test for Valle here tonight too, Nonito, because this is an undefeated opponent. You can watch the facial expressions of Macri. She is anything, I mean, she is extremely confident coming in here tonight.
Came all the way from Italy, too.
Yes.
We have 2 Italian fighters on the card tonight. Later on, Tam Thibault's opponent, Christina Mazzotta.
And Macri's just walking in, punching, you know, without even kind of setting things up.
That was a good bounce back round from Valle. She landed that jab early and often.
Well, after nearly 2 years out of the ring, Jessica Neri Plata is back and ready to take back her crown as she faces the reigning champ, Lourdes Juarez, in a high-stakes, most valuable prospect showdown, live on DAZN, October 18th.
Here's the headbutt. And with Macri just coming in, that was almost inevitable, like Corey you mentioned. But you know, I don't think there's a cut. I don't see much of an abrasion. The referee didn't even make a note of it to the the officials.
Yeah, because Valle never really complained. And you see a lot of the guys don't complain after getting.
Look at her jumping up and down.
She's really hyped, man. She's really hyped. But that's something that you'll get with somebody who comes in with their head, with their intensity and aggression. Things like that can happen.
Round 3 underway. Very different demeanors in either corner right now as Federica Macri just sprints across the ring and lands a nice right hand.
I don't hate it. I mean, she hasn't landed much effective shots, but with these 2-minute rounds, shorter fight, you got to go in there and put off the impression that you're bringing the fight.
That's right.
I mean, how many times have we seen that? The judges, they really favor the fighter that comes forward.
Although Valle,
she's starting to move.
Moving really well. And that jab, beautiful jab coming from her.
Right, if you're going to move like that, you got to plant yourself and land something every once in a while. And also keep throwing that jab, keep landing that jab, because that will stop Macri in her tracks.
100% on that. I believe
trying to do that.
Yes. But you got when you had asked earlier whether she can keep this up, I believe she can.
I mean, she fought 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You got to figure her cardio is at top tier.
Her trainer, Luca Di Caroli, very, very confident. As Valle looks for that check left hook.
And the 108-pound division it's very exciting division. You know, Valle wants to get into title contention. Obviously, Macri wants to get there as well. You know, we got Evelyn Bermudez, we got Kim Clavel, you know, we have Sarah Bailey in the mix. So, you know, Clavel fighting at 105, but she's also fought at 108 as well.
She is rough.
What happened there?
Shot behind the back, yeah. Getting a little out of control with the aggression, but
I'm not saying I don't condone that at all, but you got to get a little, you know.
No, she's very rough. As you can see right now, when they're up close, she's nonstop. You know, which is very, very difficult. I mean, you know, the biggest thing about the biggest fight, the opponent you have inside that ring is yourself. You know, so that's one thing that she's doing is pressuring Valle to question whether she wants to be doing this. You know, and Valle, of course.
Referee's going to play a crucial role in this fight, I believe.
Valle, of course, is doing what she does, you know, and I heard earlier on from her sister that can't take her to school. So I think that's one thing that she's trying to do is box well and take her to school.
Guys, I don't condone fouling. I don't condone dirty boxing. But if you come all the way from Italy and you're trying to upset an up-and-coming star, you might have to impose your will in all different types of ways. And that was what Macri did in round 3, a round that I thought that she won. Oh, yeah.
Elbow.
I don't know. All right, so warnings have been established. We're getting into point deduction territory, in which should be a very close fight. So something to keep an eye on.
This is a very good experience for Valle. I mean, Macri is no joke as well in this division.
Round 4 begins.
Round 4 begins just how round 3 started, round 2 and round 1 began.
Well, and you mentioned this is an interesting test, Nonito, for Naomi Valle, and this is one of those tests that young fighters encounter. And Valle now has kind of two choices in this matter. Does she let this sort of messiness and the chaos throw her off her game, or does she adapt in some way?
Well, right now, the way she's moving, she's adapting really well. The 1-2-1, which lands a lot, and early on, too, in the previous rounds, where she landed the jab after moving around, you know, that's what she's doing right now. Look at the movement that she's doing. She's very much adjusted to Macari's style, and being in that distance is not something that she should be doing, and she understands that. But Macari's making it difficult for her to keep the distance away from, you know, from wanting in her own ways of fighting.
Really incredible that both of these women, Valle and Macari, won regional amateur titles within months of starting to box. Both of them seem to just have the boxing gene, so to speak. So we're inside the final minute here of round 4.
You know what the boxing genes is, Corey, is the heart. The heart to learn, the heart to continue in it, because things can be very tough. When you get hit the first time, oh, they're throwing bombs as well. The first time you get hit, you start questioning all of this stuff, you know. But these women are fighting at their best and showing what they can do in every way that they can.
I think Valle has done a great job this round of making Macari miss. She's hitting a lot of air this round.
And I love that jab that she's doing, the movement that she's doing.
Yeah. You want to frustrate Macari. You want to do exactly what Valle did in this round. She moved, she landed, she got out of the way. She
Good
won
right
the round.
hand and a second one. As the seconds tick away in the round, the last word goes to Naomi Valle. So our main card coming up a little bit later on tonight. That main event between Sol Cudos and the hometown favorite Kim Clavel at the top of the bill. Our co-main event, speaking of Quebec flavor, Tam Thibault back in action against Christina Mazzata. Also, Montreal's Maslam Actani in action against the hard-hitting Anthony Soto. And it will be the MVP debut of the Olympic medalist Nelvi Tiafek taking on Ramiro Robles. Anytime a Olympic medalist at heavyweight makes their pro debut, you've got to pay attention, guys.
Right, heavyweights, they deserve our attention. They have a different aura. They move differently in this sport, and Nelly Tiafek is one that I know MVP is very excited for. So I'm looking forward to that fight.
This is a very, very interesting style fight. The two women.
Yeah, but I felt a momentum shift in the last round, where Macari, she was still coming forward, but she wasn't landing. And you can come forward, you got to land.
Well, and speaking of momentum shifts, Dan, I mean, Valle now did what Macari did the first 4 rounds. She sprinted across the ring and landed the first 4 punches.
Yes, the jabs and the combinations, too, that she's doing. You can see a lot of the confidence coming from Valle, you know, in what she does in moving laterally and then throwing the combination, but mainly the jab.
Yeah, she was holding. Oh, no, they're taking a point.
Taken away from Valle.
Oh. I mean, they did give a warning, but I didn't think it was an egregious hold.
So that may loom large in this bout. That was there for holding as Valle misses over the top of the right hand. And here again, a nearly identical messy sequence right there.
I had this fight even through 4.
But that's the crazy thing, though. It's just that Macari is coming in there with, you know, the distance and stuff like that. She's trying to keep her off the distance, but because Macari is coming over, there's a headbutt
She
right
just
there.
with her head. Yeah, the referees tend to see the last infraction rather than the first.
Or maybe the most obvious one, which sometimes is holding, right? Rather than the elbows and the rough stuff on the inside.
Valle, she was pretty demonstrative with that hold before.
Thinking about that right hand to the body.
You know, just when I was about to say that I felt like Valle was starting to pull away with this fight and seize the momentum, you know, she gets a point deducted.
When this, I'm sure, you know, other than Macari's plan to just overwhelm Valle with volume and this chaos we've been talking about, part of that plan is also, hey, maybe you bait her into a point deduction, into getting off her game a little bit, and that's worked here in the 5th.
Definitely has.
Seconds tick away as the confidence grows for Federica Macri.
This must be very, very frustrating for Valle. You know, again, coming in there.
I don't think this is going how she thought it would go. And that's what boxing is about, making adjustments. I mean, they had to figure that Macri would come in and be aggressive and maybe these little extracurricular activities inside of the ring. Here's the headbutt. That did not get...
the second time as well.
That did not get noticed by the referee. No warning there. Valle's in tough right now. Sink or swim time. She's 14-0 with 9 knockouts. She's signed with MVP. She's looking at big fights. Her sister's fighting on massive cards with us.
So round 6 begins. Macri again racing across the ring. We'll see if Naomi Valle can stabilize and start banking some rounds here. And luckily for Valle, we talked about that win that she's coming off of. She does, Nonito, have some experience to draw on. That was an 8-round win that was kind of like a 5-3-ish fight on the scorecard. So she's been in this kind of spot before and has pulled out the victory.
Well, the thing is, you know, as a winner, that mindset, you're going to have to figure it out. And that's what she's doing right now. As you saw earlier, in the beginning of the round, she didn't charge like she did in the previous round, and she's keeping that distance from Macri and utilizing that distance, and that's her way of changing the whole landscape of the fight, because she has no chance. Not that she doesn't have no chance, but it's just very difficult for her to be in that distance, and she's doing really well boxing.
The referee is certainly tilted towards the way of Valle in terms of penalties and warnings.
Valle missing over the top of that right hand. A little shoe shine combination downstairs from Macri.
And through 5 rounds, I have Macri winning 3 of those. One of them is a 10-8 round as well. This one is up for grabs.
I believe that Valle needs to just keep her hands up instead of putting it out there, like trying to keep the distance. Keep her hands up so that it limits her from holding or from tangling arms and arms with Macri.
It's a good right hand that landed there from Valle, but again, that's the grittiness of Macri. She eats that right hand and immediately marches forward. 10 seconds here of round 6. Crunch time for Naomi Valle and for Federica Macri, 2 undefeated fighters trying to hang on to that undefeated record as they exchange right at the bell.
Take a look.
Go to that one, Fede. Go to that one.
In round 6, we saw more of that tussling on the inside, Nonito. 2 fighters trying to impose their will. Macri has no problem being on the inside of there, but that's right there. That right hand is what Valle needs to find in these final 2 rounds.
I guess you fight rough with tactics.
I'm impressed with Valle. You know, this is not her game. It's not how she thought the fight would probably go, but she's fighting fire with fire.
You got to. You know, you got to show who's boss in there, and by doing so, make it tougher for them on the things that they're doing.
Right hand to the body immediately from Macri. So we continue to play that game, Dan, of who lands the first shot in the round.
It's important. It's almost as important as the final shot of the round to set that tone. And through 6 rounds, CompuBox punch stats, we have Valle with a 60-47 edge in total connects. Macri has the edge in power. Valle's jab, she's out-jabbed Macri 36-10.
I'm very surprised on Macri coming in here, you know, knowing that her record, but she's actually much more powerful in terms of punching power than her record indicates.
Those Italians, man.
Yes.
Trying to set the tone for Team Italy tonight.
She's starting it all up.
Yeah, well, Christina Mazzotta has the work cut out for her in our co-main event, which speaks on Tam Tebow.
Tangled up once again here on the inside. Federica Macri on less than 14 days notice by necessity because she fought 14 days ago. Stepping in and looking to score a massive upset here.
Anita, do you ever fight on 14 days in between a fight?
No, I have not.
Would you?
I would.
Yeah, you would.
If I knock the guy out and I'm not going to wait for another week, a month, or 2 or 3, I'll take it right off the bat, man. You know, I'll do it the old school way where we're fighting every week.
It's kind of like when Andy Ruiz upset Anthony Joshua. He had to win 6 weeks prior to that. He didn't have time to, gain weight or time to party, time to distractions. Probably got right back in the lab, and that's what Macri did.
Valle, they're making it very clear that she was not hanging on. You saw that, don't you?
Yes, I saw that. Like I said, just keeping her hands up, and that's exactly what she did when they had tangled up.
This is a swing round. I mean, this is one of the tougher rounds of this fight to score. It's like who wrestled each other better. Oh, that didn't really land either. Oof.
Hay que ganar ese último round. Hay que ganar. ¿Cómo se ganan los rounds? Tirando. Hay que tirar. ¡Párate! Ella no va a ser más fuerte que vos. ¿Estás cansada? ¿Estás cansada? No, ¿verdad? Entonces hay que pararse. A tirar. No te quiero ver mover tanto. La puedes, la recibís. Sí. La moves, se viene. Se va y quien es bueno.
They just said that you need to throw more punches. Just, you got to make it happen. I don't speak Italian, so
I only know the curse words.
What would that be?
I can't say them on air.
Naomi Valle drawing upon those hard training camps in Mexico, drawing upon the advice of her 3-division world champion sister, and trying to hold off Federica Macri, who, how fittingly, trains at the Rocky Gym, looking for her Rocky moment tonight.
This is too many storylines here. But heading into the 8th round, I have Valle up 4 rounds to 3, but with the point deduction, even fight.
Massive.
So you're saying then that this is the make or break round?
Make or break fight, make or break round.
Yeah.
That's how it is. It's going to be interesting to see because Macri's thrown more punches. She's more aggressive here. What do we have? A little wardrobe malfunction?
So?
Macri's thrown more punches. But Valle is landing at a higher clip. Landed more power shots. More jabs. It's a rough and tumble type of fight.
Rough stuff again. In a critical round like this, I mean, that's a borderline point deduction type scenario, right? I mean,
or
this
a 2-minute round, too.
Immediately. 45 seconds remaining in the contest. 2 undefeated records hanging in the balance.
Valle is landing more shots this round. Few and far between. In between these moments where they're holding.
Big right hand over the top from Valle.
Right. That could be the
difference.
The difference in this round. That can,
It's been the most eye-catching shot in several rounds.
Good jab coming in from Valle.
The right hand over the top there from Valle. Finding what she needs in the closing moments of this contest. 10 more seconds remain, and the real drama can begin as we await the scorecards. And that'll do it. An overjoyed Federica Macri, an emotional Federica Macri, and a very different energy in the Naomi Valle corner right now.
Well, my official scorecard, I had Valle winning that last round, pulling out the victory. There was the point deduction in round 6. We'll see how that plays out. Flesh, how are you seeing it?
I thought that Valle did enough with the movements and all of that stuff. Yes, Macri, came in there, made it really rough and tough for her. This is a great experience for her to grow into a better fighter, more smarter. But you can see how much she adjusted by fighting, by boxing, by being aware not to hold because of the referee warning and all that stuff. So she has a lot of growth into this fight, but I felt like she did enough to win this fight.
Coming up on Friday, November 14th. Speaking of the fighting Valles, Yokasta Valle putting the WBC strawweight title on the line against Yadira Bustillos. Yokasta Valle, the 3-division world champion, back in action. One of MVP's own.
Big fight.
And the scorecards are ready, so let's send it back up to Big Mo with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 full rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard for the official decision. Judge Richard de Carufel sees it 80-71. Judge Guy Girard sees it 76-75. And Judge Sylvain LeBlanc sees it 78-73. Declaring your winner by unanimous decision, Federica La Cativa Macri.
So one judge gave Macri every round.
Well, those scorecards, listen to them again. A massive upset, 80-71, 76-75, and 78-73. Those are vastly different scorecards, but two of them dominant in favor of Macri.
My mouth is on the floor right now as the crowd are booing this decision. I mean,
it was tough. There was a lot of wrestling. It was a closely contested fight. You look at the punch stats. Macri had the edge in power, landed, but Valle landed more jabs. Macri threw more punches. We're gonna have to take a look back at some of these replays to get a closer look. I personally thought that Valle won slightly. Thought she landed the cleaner, effective shots. There was no doubt that Macri was coming forward, though, Flash.
Macri did an amazing job in trying to win this fight, and she did. If it was, I was just kind of shocked because of the distance of the scoring coming from the judges. But again, like you said, Dan,
it just shows you that someone could watch a fight. 3 different people could watch a fight and see 3 different things. To see an 80-71. And then a wider range of scorecards.
Yeah, and I also think, Dan, and obviously as someone who focuses so intently on the stats and scoring as you do, it also speaks to what the preferences are in fights that feature 2-minute rounds. I mean, it's a truncated batch of action that you're looking at, and oftentimes, and I think you're just looking at aggression. You don't have that 3rd minute to see, to validate some of the things that you're looking at.
That's why I thought Macri, her game plan was brilliant. It was to come forward and try to steal rounds and maybe not land the hardest shots, but make it look like she's bringing the fight.
Well, the thing is that ring journalship, the movement, the lateral movement, the jab, and all of that stuff, stylistically, it was Valle's way. Yes, Macri came in and tried to make the fight happen, and which is incredible. I think she deserves to be notified, to take notice that she did an amazing job.
Well, speaking of 2-minute rounds, Tam Thibault is going to have to fight 2-minute rounds. That's not something that she's been used to in the pros in our co-main event as she takes on Christina Mazzata. Tam Thibault, ranked by all 4 major sanctioning bodies. She has her eyes on, well, there's only one title holder presently at middleweight, and she's signed by MVP, but Tam Thibault regarded as maybe the most dangerous middleweight in the world right now.
She's very, very good, and she is very, very mean inside of the ring. Absolute charismatic outside of the ring, but she's got power. She has great understanding of her range. She throws that jab, and just a very well-rounded fighter, and someone that I think in 12 months, even less, could be a world champion.
Well, we don't want to look past Macri, her opponent.
Yeah.
Yes, because as you saw with Macri coming in there, from Italy, they last night or yesterday when she said that I got something to show. Her words are kind of becoming to to something, you know, that we have to believe because of the way Margaret came into this fight.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mazzata obviously stepping in. Just one pro fight, taking on one of the most dangerous fighters in the middleweight division right now. And Tam Tebow getting an opportunity to perform in front of her home province audience here tonight for the first time in the pros. A massive moment for Tam tonight.
Oh, it's big. This is big. Like, MVP is pushing Tam Tebow, rightfully so, towards superstardom. But I'm telling you, one Italian fighter got to win. I'm not saying Cristina Mazzata can pull it off, but it could be 2-0 for Team Italy tonight.
You know, Tebow is very skillful. She knows how to reach, how to use her range, and that's what makes it very, very difficult for anyone to fight her because she's very tall, but she knows how to use it and drop those big shots behind it.
All right, so that is our co-main event coming up a little bit later on here tonight. A massive fight card from here at the Théâtre Saint-Denis. We take a look at the fight card in its totality. That main event between Cudos and Clavel promises to be a banger. We just told you all about Tam Tebow and Cristina Mazzata. Tebow always brings the action. And some more local favor, Mazlum Aktani looking to step onto the world stage here tonight as he takes on Anthony Soto. And our opener on the main card is the MVP debut of the Olympic medalist Nel VTFX as he takes on Ramiro Robles. But we have more action coming your way here on the prelims as we send it back up to Christian Gauthier.
Mesdames et messieurs, place au prochain combat 8 rounds chez les poids coqs. Accueillons d'abord la boxeuse du coin rouge, Alondra Hernandez.
So Alondra Hernandez in a hurry to get in the ring here tonight. She's coming off a 5th round TKO win over Fatima Rodriguez. The only loss on her pro record, Dan, came in a hard-fought decision loss to Alexis Kubicki, who, of course, we saw about a week ago fighting for the undisputed championship. So even in that loss, there is some confidence to extract for Hernandez tonight.
Women's boxing never ceases to amaze me with these opportunities and their willingness to get in there and fight on short notice, take on risks early on in their career. I wish sometimes the men fought like that. No slight on you, Donito.
Et voici maintenant son adversaire, boxant dans le coin bleu, Amanda Bambola Gallet.
So Amanda Gallet signs with MVP in June, and just a couple of months later gets a massive opportunity here in Montreal. The current IBO World Bantamweight Champion has her eyes on the belts in the 4 major sanctioning bodies. And we've been hearing whispers, Dan, all week that a big opportunity could be looming for Gallet if she could get a victory tonight.
Well, we know who the undisputed champion is in this weight class. That's Janika Johnson. She had an upset win over Shametta Metcalf back in the summer, and Galle wants that. You know, that's the goal for any fighter out there is to get a world title shot, but has to get past a very tough opponent in Alondra Hernandez tonight.
All right, let's take a look at the tail of the tape for our next contest. Amanda Gallet and Alondra Hernandez. You see the measurables. Gallet enjoying a height advantage, not a reach advantage. And of note, Hernandez did have a little difficulty making weight for this one, coming in at 119. We'll see if that plays a role in this contest as we are ready to get the action started. Let's send it back up to the center of the ring to Big Mo.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, this is Most Valuable Prospects 15, brought to you by Jake Paul and Nikisa Badarian's Most Valuable Promotions in association with Group Yvonne Michel. Live from the Théâtre Saint-Denis, we arrive at 8 2-minute rounds in the bantamweight division. Our 3 judges scoring this bout at ringside: Richard Blouin, Marie-Josie Guérin, and Sylvain Leblanc. And our referee in charge when the bell rings is Yvonne Goulet. 2 warriors, 1 fight. Who wants it more? Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white trunks with green and red trim, donning the flag of Mexico. She sits 5 feet 1 inch tall. She weighed in at 119 pounds. Tonight, she enters the ring with a professional record of 8 victories versus just 1 defeat. And she fights out of Mexico City, Mexico, introducing Alondra Hernandez. And now her opponent standing across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white, red, and green trunks. She stands 5 feet, 3 inches tall. She weighed in at 117.4 pounds. Tonight, she enters the ring undefeated as a professional, 11 victories, opposite no defeats, and 1 draw, with one of those wins coming by way of knockout. And she fights out of Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, tonight making her MVP debut, Amanda Bambola Gale.
Så er det til et dressing on a clean fight. Touch glove.
So we are set to go with our next contest. So much on the line here for Amanda Gale, new signee of MVP, as she takes on Alondra Hernandez here tonight. She's been battle-tested against a world title challenger in recent years, looking to spoil the party here tonight. Round 1 underway.
I maybe ran into Amanda Gale like 7 or 8 times in the fighter hotel this week, and every time she's told me I'm going to stick a jab. Watch my jab. Right in the face all night. Doesn't jab yet, but she's got a nice right hand.
A good distance game from Gaye. You know, Gaye's really doing really well, keeping that distance at the mid-range and choosing the right shots at the same time.
Really no surprises here in terms of the approach of Alondra Hernandez. You know what she wants to do. She wants to get to the inside and bang away to the body. Good right hand and a left hook immediately behind it there from Gale.
I like the body, left to the body, left to the hook, left hook afterwards from Gale. You know, it's showing her confidence in fighting in that mid-range.
This is the range that Gale wants it at. And right there, get in and out.
Yes, movement-wise, it's great. But when she's in there, she attacks before her opponent can attack.
Good left hook there down to the body from Gale, misses up top. We could hear her corner saying, "Don't try so hard." In other words, Nonito, hey, you can loosen up a little bit.
A good catch and shoot from Gale. That was great.
Clicking on all cylinders early on. No feeling out process.
Nice right hand over the top, the left hook right behind it again, making 2 of them. Everything working for Gale right now.
And I love the way she moves afterwards, you know, because knowing that her opponent, Hernandez, is coming in with one style, just press forward and try to make it rough. But Gale's moving around and shooting those combination and then stepping back.
Counter right hand over the top there from Gale. A beautiful round of boxing for Mississauga's finest.
Last fight was very hard to score. Those rounds were close. That was a very demonstrative 10-9 round from Team Gale.
Well, you can see the way she's throwing those shots is very just clear. You know, it wasn't like rough and push and pull and all of that stuff, you know. The way she was throwing them, it was very clear that she's landing them cleanly. Coming in with the left hook and then finishing off with the jab. Then an overhand right, a left hook, and then stepping out. You know, her pattern is very great because she's actually sticking to the movement of attack and the distance of the defense.
As round 2 begins, we'll see if Amanda Gale can build upon what was a spectacular opening round.
Well, I think Hernandez is getting her her engine revving right now, and she's going forward now. She's just not waiting any longer. She's going to try to do what Makri did, you know, come
Get
forward.
inside. Get inside. If she stays at this range, Gallet will just pick her off all night.
Hard chopping right hand in the midst of that exchange there from Gallet. A left hook again. I mean, this is just copy and paste for Amanda Gallet right now, who is rising to the occasion. And Dan, this is one of those stories that I know you and I love. Gallet, the 36-year-old, really a part of that generation in women's boxing that came up when these types of opportunities didn't exist. She watched as some of her amateur contemporaries got them before her, and now is getting that chance on the big stage and maybe an opportunity to be on a bigger one.
You can see that she carries herself with a chip on her shoulder, but it's a good chip on her shoulder. She's very hungry, and it's nice to see that she can cash in quite literally at this stage in her career, when early on in her career she was not getting those opportunities.
You know what I see in this exchange, and every time they have an exchange, Gallet would always land that straight, because the way she throws it, she leans her body just like that. She leans her body to the left and leaves Hernandez to be open right down the middle, and that's why she always lands those big shots and then follow up with a left to the body or to the head.
Gallet back on the jab that she was bragging about all week long.
I would say, hey, okay, you gonna let's see. Even last night when our hotel got evacuated.
That's right, yeah.
I saw her in the stairwell. And she wanted to tell me about that jab at around midnight, walking down the steps. That's a true story.
Again,
everybody.
that's straight as Gallet throws that straight right hand, but leans to the left to set up a left hook just how the round ended.
One final two-punch combination from Gallet right at the bell. Well, after nearly 2 years out, Jessica Neri Plata is back and ready to take back her crown as she faces the reigning champ Lourdes Juarez in a high-stakes, most valuable prospect showdown live on DAZN October 18th.
Again, Gallet coming in, stepping back, keeping that distance, and then throwing those shots to counter. As you can see, she's looking there, and then that combination jab, jab straight, and then combination afterwards. She's playing that distance, and that, I mean, just great. That distance that she's doing is great to be able to land those shots. Pressing, the pressing opponent in Hernandez would step into that mid-range to be able to get hit with the combination from Gallet.
Round 3 underway. Amanda Gallet looking to maybe punch her ticket to a big opportunity in the bantamweight division. She is on a roll here in the early going against Alondra Hernandez, and big right hand again there from Gallet. You know, Nonito, I wanted to point something out. Let's get nerdy a little bit here. One thing that I see Gallet doing a lot of, and I know you appreciate it, catching shots with the gloves open in front, you know, catching them like that, setting up the left hook. I know you appreciate doing that.
Oh, yes. See, there's a lot of people don't understand how to do that, because with your hand open, you can just kind of redirect the punch to be able to shoot that same hand and land the shots. You know, there's a lot of things like that that's showing a lot of experience coming from Gallet, you know, and then, of course, the lateral movement, and then that feint coming in, just taking control of the fight by using the feint, using the combination, and using the mid-range, and allowing Jessica Hernandez to come in and you know, be hit because she's at that distance, and that's what Gallet is setting Hernandez up for.
Well, and it's also created doubt in the mind of Hernandez, right, Dan? Because now you're seeing in the early portion of this round, Gallet able to just jab because Hernandez a little bit more tentative because of the counters that Nonito just talked about.
Exactly. She's obviously she can land those rights and lefts. Those are landing, but the jab is keeping Hernandez from coming forward. And now she's in the flow state. She's moving around in there. She's looking excellent.
Beautiful, beautiful lateral movement, and then she'll feint here, but then she'll throw a combination just like that. A 1, 2, 3, and then down to the body. You know, she's mixing it up to the top, she's mixing that to the bottom, and then coming back to the jab and stepping back out again.
Mixing in the body work, mixing in uppercuts as Hernandez looks for an uppercut of her own, but she just cannot get past that lead hand of Amanda Gallet.
Gallet with the 1-2 hook, and then stepping out, lateral movement, and we've seen this all throughout the fight, which is brilliant on her part. and that's very smart of her. So not to be hit in close range from Hernandez. And again, mixing it up to the bottom, to the top, and into to the body. You know, she's doing really well in terms of just following the protocol, I guess, in the boxing world of shooting to the top, shooting to the bottom, moving around here and there, and then fishing your opponent to come into your range to be able to throw this combination, then stepping out of it.
Also putting on a clinic on how to deal with a fighter that comes forward. We saw in the last fight, Valle had a problem with that. She didn't know how to handle a fighter that was coming forward. But Gaye has shown how to handle a fighter that's coming forward. It's movement, it's getting in and out, landing clean shots and getting out. And so that Hernandez can't, her rhythm is, she hasn't gotten the rhythm yet, Hernandez. She has, every time she goes, well, now she's starting to come forward here, but.
And that jab again. But going back into that previous fight, good
big right hand over the top. Galley with maybe the best shot of the fight right now is Hernandez trying to pick up the intensity, but that's just running right into the fire.
That's got to be so disheartening for Hernandez. She probably had the best sequence of the fight for herself, coming forward. Hey, this is the round where I'm going to come forward, I'm going to let my hands go. And Gaye showed that she could be a counter puncher as well. And I think she won those exchanges, Gaye.
Amanda Galle, a woman who's been really fighting in some fashion her entire life. She's a 4th degree karate black belt as well, and that's before she ever put on a pair of boxing gloves.
Well, she loves fighting, that's for sure.
Picking apart Alondra Hernandez, who's a multidisciplinary person herself. She's studying for a degree in both culinary arts and criminology. Very different things.
Wow, impressive.
Wow, that is very impressive. Right here, Galle coming in as she already expects Hernandez to step into her range, and that's when she throws those combinations as Hernandez is stepping in to be hit. 1-2-1 coming from Galle. Hernandez still pressing. I mean, you got to give it up to these women. They are, I would say, they have really big heart.
They're bringing it.
Big left hook again there from Galle, who just cannot miss. And credit to Hernandez for continuing to bring the pressure, but she has been a square target for Galle to tee off on to this point in the fight.
I have Gaye winning all 4 rounds, but Hernandez, it's not stopping Hernandez from trying to win and competing. What we see here is how this round started. It was with Hernandez saying, I'm going to come forward, I'm going to let my hands go. But I believe it was one of the best sequences of the fight for Gaye, where she was able to become a counterpuncher in this moment, Nonito, and land some clean combinations.
Well, that's the thing is, you know, when you are given that opportunity, you're going to, it's crucial for you to learn how to counter and how to shoot those shots, especially when you have Hernandez coming in forward and trying to make the fight happen for herself. Gaye's coming in and countering properly.
Round 5 begins. Amanda Galle with a dazzling performance thus far. I assume I know what your scorecards look like, guys, but how do you have it so far?
I have a 4-0. Galle, she's been able to do anything she wants in there. She's fighting off the front foot. She's counterpunching. She's getting in and out. Immaculate performance so far from Amanda Galle.
I concur.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
That's right hand
the
over
judges
top
are on
there.
the same page.
Nonito, earlier in the fight, we talked about Galle carrying her hands in front of her face, kind of parrying those shots, catching and shooting. Now you see her with that lead hand down a little bit, kind of finding her flow a little bit more. Obviously, a display of confidence.
Well, not only that, but it's setting a trap for Hernandez to be hit with the left hook, as she will be willing to a right hand over, and that's when Galle will come in with the left hook just like that. A left hook can be done over in from that point on. And that's what Galle is doing. Is just setting up to make Hernandez be comfortable to come in there to throw those punches and to reach. And when he does reach, that's when Gale will counter with the left hook and combinations.
Yeah, and it's kind of, and you love this shot as well. It's almost that kind of fadeaway left hook. You slip to your right, you're throwing the left hook at the same time, and that has been money for Gale here tonight.
Kobe. That was low.
Good eye. Good eye. Good eye.
I'm on right now. I'm switched on too, you know?
Celsius coursing through your veins right now.
I mean, judging's hard. I mean, I know we like to go after the judges.
Right.
You know, doing the unofficial scorecard is not easy. I have a little bit of sympathy for the judges.
Closing moments of the round. Hernandez still flurrying. And we will head back to the corners. Oh, there he is, Juana Walton, Atlanta GA zone coming up next. Feature bout of our prelims here tonight as he takes on Anthony Mora. Dan, maybe the biggest step up in Juana Walton's young career.
Literally, his first 6-rounder. Every time he steps into the ring, it's going to be a big moment because he brings a big name with him, a lot of fame before he even stepped into the ring. But I like what I saw in his last fight. I saw a progression physically. I saw a progression, mentally. And that explains the 5,000 plus people that are watching on YouTube right now. All the Juana faithful out there want to see him get another win.
A reminder that you can follow along on the MVP socials for more behind-the-scenes content as well throughout the night.
But everyone go and unfollow MVP HQ right now. Unfollow, not follow. That's a joke.
You guys are hilarious.
The MVP, they're always trying to get me, that MVP HQ account.
Round 6 underway.
Yeah, I got to give it to Hernandez. You know, she's very game. Regardless of what has happened in the previous rounds, she's still game to press forward, land shots. Good counter left hook by Gale as Hernandez presses forward, and 1-2 as well, landing that big straight right hand from Gale.
I have it a shutout for Gale, but I do want to mention Hernandez is very game, and she has not taken a back step this entire fight.
Again, you know how the previous rounds were. It's so easy to be discouraged after knowing that the person in front of you is very talented or more skillful than you do. But Hernandez, here goes again, throwing up body shots, coming forward. A lot of heart. Big respect for Hernandez.
There's Gale going to the body as well. And you're right, Hernandez won't stop coming forward, won't stop throwing. This is someone who has been in camp with Gabriela Fundora in recent times. Dan, imagine counting those sparring sessions, those two volume punchers.
Fundora, she really fills it up. I believe one of the best boxers in the entire world right now is Gabriela Fundora.
Good straight right hand by Gale. But here comes Hernandez again. You know, it's just, this is what she does. She's still betting on landing those big shots.
Well, she's also betting or hoping, Nonito, that at some point you start to become unraveled, that you can't take this pressure at some point. But Gale, to this point, it just has not wavered whatsoever.
Well, she has a destiny that she wants, and that's what she's gonna do. You know, this is what we do. We do what we have in this moment in time, but we have a vision to get to, and that's what we're gonna try to focus in, and by winning each and every fight.
Es lo peor, si la morra fuera buena, ya nos ganó. Lo peor es que vas a dejar una pelea ganable porque no la cierras, no estás aventando. Vale, una cosa. Carrones.
Well, first off, I gotta say, from the corner, my guy wearing the Aaron Judge shirt, great looking shirt. Yep. He's on fire right now, Judge.
Hey, Dan, did you hear the Tigers are going to the playoffs?
They're in?
The Tigers are going to the dance.
Wow, you look so much happier now.
My energy has improved dramatically, and I was already fired up.
Wow, it's time for October baseball.
We've got a night of September boxing first, and this has been a spectacular performance from Amanda Gale. If you were looking for a performance to announce that you're a legit contender, it is this one.
This is a red-hot division, too, Corey. Shanika Johnson, undisputed champion, upset Shermetta Metcalf back in July on the Taylor Serrano 3 card. Dina Thorsland is the WBC champion in recess, who is a top 10 operator as well. You know, Gaye, talking with her the many times I saw her at the hotel, she's like, I know what I want. Like, I want a big shot. I don't know if I'll get it next, but she understands the politics of the sport. And I don't think she truly understands how fast-tracked women's boxing is right now.
Yeah, and Gallet talked about really finding her confidence that she could be at that level with her most recent win over New York's Carreno in a rematch, beating her for the second time. She said that coming out of the ring, she truly felt like she was ready for the best. If she felt that way after that performance, how's she going to feel here tonight?
Yeah, this is another confidence builder.
Well, the thing, how she's actually fighting, it's gives her a lot of confidence to be fighting with those big fighters out there, you know? The way she's moving, the way she's throwing those combinations, even with power and slipping. I mean, she has a lot of tools to compete with anyone in this division.
Alondra Hernandez has taken a lot of punishment in this fight. She is not cut. She might have been bleeding from the nose earlier, maybe momentarily, but she has not been stunned in any way. The credit to the durability of Alondra Hernandez here tonight.
The durability take you a long way in this sport, especially if you want to be like a B-side. And Hernandez, I know, has her sights on world title aspirations as well, but being durable can really pay off in the sport.
Yeah, they can get you more TV dates as well.
You make it exciting. I mean, you see a lot of the Mexican fighters, man, they are very, very tough, and Hernandez is one of those. And she's game for every round.
Guy had been in that flow state since the very first combination she threw in this fight, and we saw it right there with a nice left, that fadeaway shot that you were talking about, Corey. And here you can see her making it look easy on defense, too, turning defense into offense.
That's right. She has the glow.
Must feel so amazing when you're in that state where you feel like you can't miss. It's like in baseball where the ball looks like a beach ball and you're hitting everything. That's what Gaye is doing tonight. Wow, did you see that? She was looking over at Nikisa Badarian, and I don't know what she said, but I know it was like, hey, I want my shot. Well,
it's been one heck of a first night on the job, so to speak, for Amanda Gallet, as Alondra Hernandez is going to need something massive in the way of a knockout to win this fight here.
A great MVP debut for Gallet.
And she's showing up. She's showing up really well with so much talent, so much boxing, IQ, and journalism.
You can just see it in the footwork now of Amanda Gallet. She's having a lot of fun here tonight.
Oh, she said footwork is head work for me. That's another thing she told me in the hotel as well, and we're seeing that too. It's great footwork. It all starts with the feet.
1-2 right down the pipe there from Gallet. She's going to take a lap of the track before landing another one.
A good 1-2 right hand.
I guess you can do that when you're up 7 rounds to none.
Yeah, you can more or less do whatever you want.
Make it fun.
Which is basically what Amanda Gallet has been doing offensively here tonight.
But much respect to Hernandez.
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't slow down, who doesn't stop, and still is looking for a big shot.
Nonito, is Hernandez giving you Cesar Juarez vibes a little bit?
Oh, yes. you know those typical Mexican toughness, you know, and that's where you got to give that respect to Hernandez, who comes in here knowing each round has been her opponent's, but she still doesn't stop and still aiming to land a big shot.
It's a courageous performance here tonight from Alondra Hernandez, the 20-year-old from Mexico City.
Gallet just went over the 600 mark in terms of punches thrown.
In less than 8 rounds.
In 2-minute rounds, too. She's averaging 77 punches thrown around.
And doing it on the back foot. A spectacular performance from Mississauga's Amanda Gallet. take a bow. Amanda Gallet. A big ovation from the crowd here at the Théâtre Saint-Denis in downtown Montreal.
Amanda Gallet might have just punched her ticket to an undisputed title shot.
The way she showed up tonight, you know, the way she, her skills was visible to everybody out here.
Let's take a look back at some of the highlights from this one, and this was a highlight reel for Amanda Gallet from start to finish.
This was the first combination of the fight. She was switched on, and that was a really good sign for Gallet, and not the best sign for her opponent there, but it was early and often. Norito, it was just a lot of combinations. There was a lot of in and out footwork too that was really impressive.
Her distance management really paved the way for her to throw all the combinations. She just knew when Hernandez would come in and when she needs to step back. I mean, it was great showing for Gallet coming into this fight with a game opponent.
She's only got one knockout in her 11 pro fights, but if you're going to go in and fight like that, that was a very aesthetically pleasing style of boxing as well. So you might not have the knockout power, but if you're going to go in and hit and not get hit and throw close to 700 punches or 75 punches around, that's a style that fans are going to want to tune in to watch.
All right, we are ready to make this one official as we send it back up to the center of the ring to Big Mo.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 full rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard for the official decision. Judge Richard Blois sees the contest 80-72. Judge Marie-Josie Guérin sees it 79-73. And finally, Judge Sylvain LeBlanc sees it 80-72. All three in favor of your winner, declaring your winner by unanimous decision, Amanda Bambola Gallet!
So Amanda Gallet, victorious. And there is the martial arts skill of Amanda Gallet. Still has the energy to do that. 80-72 twice and 79-73 your scores. And we're going to hear from Amanda, who's standing by with Ariel Helwani.
Thank you very much, guys. Here with the victorious Amanda Gallet, who had a brilliant, hard-fought, hard-earned performance. Great celebration as well. Are you pleased overall with what you did tonight, Amanda?
Hey, everybody. For the 20 people of the family that came back from Toronto, 5.5-hour, 6-hour drive, thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Am I happy with what I did? I came out tonight. It's my pro debut with Most Valuable Promotions. I was coming to win. The question was I going to perform? And that was what I wanted to execute fully. I've been out of the ring since December 10th, 2024. It's almost going to be 10 months. So I wanted to put on a show that if you're consistently training, there's no such thing as ring rust. I spar 2 times a week outside of camp and 3 times a week when I'm in camp. And I think I showed everybody tonight. For all of you that are in sports, boxing primarily, but anything else, consistency is key, baby. Consistency is key.
Well, you look great despite the layoff. In fact, I noticed towards the end of the fight, you had a word with MVP co-founder Nikisa Badarian, who is sitting ringside. What did you say to him?
My coach tries to tame the big mouth chatterbox that I am, but when you got an adrenaline rush, it just comes out. I was just saying to Nikisa, my nickname should be Mexican Assassin because I got 13 pro fights now and 10 of them have been Mexicans. And let me tell you, the respect that I have for them, they don't come to play, they don't come for a paycheck, they come to fight and they come to win. And the joke was, I don't know if you guys are aware, my opponent came a pound overweight. She's a lot younger than me. And I don't know if you noticed, during the breaks, she had an extra 5-6 seconds to recover. So I just whispered over to him, bigger girl, Mexican Assassin, and she's getting more break time. Let's go, baby!
I'd be remiss if I don't ask you one quick question. MVP is the home to the undisputed bantamweight champion, Shanika Johnson. Is that who you want next?
They flew me in to watch her ringside. In New York, it was the hardest thing I ever had to do. I was gutted. I don't like being in the audience. I like being part of the show. I waited till the next day to congratulate her. I sized her up and I said, let's go, Shanika. You're next. You're with MVP, I'm with MVP. Let's make it happen. Guys, I'm 36. I've been doing this for 21 years. My time is right now. We're not promised tomorrow. So MVP, guys, let's make it happen. I am ready.
All right. We look forward to that. Congratulations, Montreal. Make some noise for the victorious Amanda Gale.
Let's go to my fellow Canadian teammates, Tam and Kim Clavel.
Yes,
Everybody
yes.
stay.
Okay, we're going back to Corey and the guys. Thank you so much, Amanda. We'll be here all day.
Thank you so much, Harry. Hey, we need Amanda Gale over here on commentary.
Dude, that was
very, very helpful.
One heck of a promo.
Oh, that was great.
One heck of a win for Amanda Gale. Hey, make sure you check out our upcoming schedule for all the exciting fights that will be streaming live on DAZN, including the return of the King of Violence, Platinum Mike Perry, as he takes on UFC rival Jeremy Lil Heathen Stevens. But coming up next, it is the return of Juana Walton taking center stage here in Canada. The viral sensation, the Hollywood star, and the rising prospect. Let's take a closer look at Juana.
Headlining our prelim card tonight, Juana Walton. I mean, what can I say? The kid's a superstar.
So I got my nickname Juana at a really young age. It started off as Juana Man, you know, so it was always like, I want to be a man, I want to do this, I want to do that. My parents would tell me that I was above my years.
My brother, Javon, has always been a man from a very, very young age. I remember this one time, we were probably around the ages of like 10, 11. He got grounded.
I wasn't a bad kid. I really was a good kid.
And I think the idea of that just really stressed him out, like to the point where he needed to get out. And so his idea was, I'm gonna jump out the window.
We're 3 stories up, and we tied together, it was 2 duvets. It was legit like if you were watching a cartoon. I just needed to blow off steam, take a little walk, you know. I had a bouncy ball with me.
Like, what 9-year-old used to blow off steam like that?
For me especially, it's like I rely on Little B a lot, you know. It's whenever I'm in a hard time or in a hard mental time, which we all deal with in sports at this kind of level, I remind myself of where I started. And I remind myself that little me would be really proud of where we're at, and he wants to see me elevate my skill set to the next level.
For Juana's growth, I just want to see more of him. You got to get in there and take on different styles. Guys that are going to come forward. Guys that are going to make it dirty on the inside. You got to feel every different type of style out there so he does get ready one day for his grand aspirations to be a world champion.
One of the difficulties for fighters early in their career is fighting in 4-rounders. Sometimes you don't get a chance to really settle in.
In those 4-round fights, if you have one close round, it's just game over. With one close round. Knowing that I have 6 rounds now, I feel more comfortable. I don't want to share game plan too much over here, but I mean, I'll decide the way I want it to go, and I'm gonna have no problem doing what I'm gonna do in the ring.
So a young man who is no stranger to the spotlight gets center stage here on the prelims. We take a look at the tail of the tape. Juana Walton and Anthony Mora. You see Walton, 19 years of age, taking on a 36-year-old here tonight. Enjoys a height advantage, but will be giving up 4 inches in reach here tonight. As we're ready to meet the fighters, let's send it back up to Chris Gauthier.
Mesdames et messieurs, voici maintenant l'attraction principale de la carte préliminaire de ce gala. 6 rounds de boxe chez les poids légers. Accueillons d'abord, dans le coin rouge, Anthony Toro Rojo Mora.
Here comes the 36-year-old Anthony Mora. And Dan, what a come-up for this man, Anthony Mora. Wasn't that long ago that he was fighting at Coco Loco Sports Bar in the Dominican, one of your favorite places, I assume.
That sounds
but
like
tonight, now fighting on DAZN.
That sounds like I got to get over back to Coco's. That's the spot to be at. But yeah, Anthony Mora, another one of those colorful box wrecks. He's 6-4-1. He's got 4 stoppages. He's also been knocked out 3 times. So always finds himself in a firefight, bar, theater, anywhere.
Voici maintenant son adversaire boxant dans le coin bleu, Juana Walton.
Y'all niggas can't be serious right now. I'm the whole time heavyweight champion.
Well, we know all about the crossover star that is Juana Walton. You see him on the big screen. You see him at the Emmys. But Dan, in particular this week, he has been insistent in telling everyone, hey, I am a boxer first. The other stuff comes second, but this is my focus, the squared circle.
Yeah, he's very clear on that. Since the first day I met him, it's like, yo, boxing is my first love. Boxing is the first thing I did. Yeah, then I got into HBO Euphoria. Then I got into acting. Then I get into all that. But he wants it very, very clear that I'm a boxer first. This is my first love. And now he makes another ring walk in his pro career.
All right, we are ready to meet the fighters. Let's send it back up to Big Mo.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, we have arrived at the main event of our prelim card for Most Valuable Prospects 15. Brought to you by Jake Paul and Nikisa Badarian's Most Valuable Promotions in association with Group Yvonne Michel, live from the historic Théâtre Saint-Denis. 6 3-minute rounds in the lightweight division. Our 3 judges scoring this bout at ringside: Richard de Caroufel, Nicolas Esnault, and Guy Gerard. And our referee in charge when the bell rings, Steve St. Germain. 2 warriors, 1 fight. Who wants it more? Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white trunks with red trim. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall. He weighed in at 134.2 pounds. Tonight, he enters the ring with a professional record of 7 victories, opposite 4 defeats, and 1 draw, with 4 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And he fights out of New Britain, Connecticut, USA, introducing Anthony Toro Rojo Mora. And now his opponent, standing across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with black trim. He stands 5 feet 9 1/2 inches tall. He weighed in at 135 pounds even. Tonight, he enters the ring undefeated as a professional. 2 victories, opposite no defeats, and 1 draw, with 1 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And he fights out of Atlanta, Georgia, USA, introducing the 19-year-old multi-talented superstar, ladies and gentlemen, MVP's own Juana Walton!
I'm going to consider both belts fully gold. You got my instruction, locker room, protect yourself at all time, listen to my command at all time. Touch gloves, good luck both.
So Juana Walton looking for his 3rd professional victory here tonight. You see his father and trainer in his corner, and they have been on a national tour of boxing gyms getting work in. But tonight, they've got this man in front of them, Anthony Mora, the 36-year-old from Connecticut, looking to break some hearts and spoil the party in Montreal tonight. Round 1, this one scheduled for 6.
I love the jab that Juana is throwing right now, setting things up. One thing that I had a talk with DJ, and something that they did differently this time was they're actually going into different places and sparring better opposition, better sparring, and he's taking boxing into the next level for himself.
Yeah, as I described it, kind of that national tour, Dan, going to the Headbangers gym in DC, going all over the place, getting some different looks, and he's giving Anthony Mora a look that is proving very difficult right now.
I was so happy when I heard that in terms of Juana's development, is getting out of, not getting out of the uncomfortability or getting yourself out there in terms of different types of sparring. And that's so important at this level. And to be able to go to Barry Hunter's gym, go to Headbangers gym, get out of your comfort zone. That's going to pay dividends for Juana.
100%. You can see how more mobile Juana is. Not just trying to tee off like his last fight. He was just trying to knock his opponent out. This time he's moving around. He's giving different angles and he's throwing the jab, he's countering, and he's not in there in front to be hit with something.
That combination there from Walton. And what you're seeing already is something that Timothy Bradley actually talked about in an ESPN feature about a year ago. When he first saw Walton, the first thing that jumped out was his creativity, his offensive creativity. And you're seeing that flow from Walton already here in the opening round.
Much looser, and I agree, Nonito. In that fight against Eric Henley back in December, it's almost like Walton wanted to prove a point, and he was throwing everything with very mean intentions. He was throwing like a pitcher, a major league pitcher that throws nothing but 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. You got to mix in a changeup. You got to mix in a slider. I think we're seeing that in this first round, where Juana is mixing it up inside that ring with different velocities on those shots.
Good 1-2 by Juana.
How about that right hook behind it as well? Sweeping shot around the guard. Connects there for Walton, who now places the left hand to the body.
Distance management. He's doing really good distance management and giving an angle off, kind of like a Lomachenko-ish type of movement. Good straight left.
You know, speaking with Mora before the fight, you know, he was very clear on, I want to bully this guy. You know, I'm 15 years older than him. I want to get in there and bully him. And he's not been able to do that in this round because Juana has simply not allowed him to.
Well, again, that distance management coming from Juana and then shifting off in an angle where it's hard to be pressured.
It's a hard body shot there, Nonito, from Walton. He's soaking up that pressure. What an opening round for Juana Walton as we head back to the corners.
A very good first round from Walton. Showed a lot of diversity on offense, being able to get in and out. And his composure, I thought, was the most important thing, Nonito.
It showed a lot of, he's very comfortable in there. It's what it showed me. You know, he's throwing that jab. Yeah, I like to throw more. I like to see him more with mixing it up to the top and body and coming in right down the middle, you know, with an uppercut, because Mora is leaning forward.
How about this? He looked very comfortable, right? Very composed in there. Still managed to fire off 90 punches in round one.
Wow.
Heard the final words of advice there from his father, DJ. And round two, and now underway. Excellent start for Juana Walton here in the main event of our prelims from Montreal, Quebec. See if Anthony Mora gets something going here in the second as he places a right hand to the body. A little sign of hope there for Mora.
Yeah, Mora's got to land something early here. He's got to get the attention of Walton, or it could turn into a very, very short night for him.
I really like what Walton is doing. I mean, just again, not staying in front and moving in laterally, and something that we haven't really seen him do. He's always been trying to tee off with bigger shots, but this time around, he's actually shifting off and getting away from getting hit by not staying in front of his opponent.
Yeah, it's a good point, Nonito. He has only been stationary for as long as it takes to throw the shot, and then he's out. Sharp left hand there from Walton a moment ago. Now looking for that check right hook. Remember, we talk a lot about what Walton has achieved outside of the ring, but remember, Dan, this is someone who was #2 in the country as an amateur, and obviously this is a loaded amateur system that he was competing in.
Yeah, I mean, everyone wants to point to the Hollywood aspect of his life. But as I said in his ring walk, his first love is boxing, and it's not just, I just sparred a little bit as a kid, or I got into fights in school. He was legitimately in the ranks in Atlanta, Georgia, which is a hotbed for boxing. Yeah, and then eventually went the Hollywood route. And now he's back with his true love.
You know, Juana right now is he needs to step back a little bit. When Mora steps forward, he just needs to step back, throw that jab, maybe push him off a little bit like a stiff arm with that jab to set that right uppercut. That's exactly what needs to be done for Walton. Throw that jab and throw an uppercut right down the middle.
Yeah, he found that uppercut to the body. We'll see if he can find it upstairs as well. More than holding his own on the inside, which is exactly where Mora wants to be, but Walton is beating him at his own game right now.
And if Mora wants to stand there, he's going to eat a lot of body shots because Walton is starting to fire up that body work.
Hard left hand right down the pipe there from Walton as we're inside the final 30 seconds of round 2. With a combination punctuated by that right hook there from Walton.
And then coming in with an uppercut. That's something that I want to see with Juana in this fight, is that uppercut as he shifts off, throw that left uppercut right down the middle, whether it's to the body or to the head, and it will most likely land as because Mora is coming in with his head.
More hard body work there from Walton, and that'll be the last word of the round.
We've entered the portion of the night where Nonito is throwing shots along with Javon Walton. But here's some great work here from Walton here in round 2. Letting those hands fly. And doing it like seamlessly with not giving out a lot of energy either. That's how you know he's super composed. A little bit of a head clash here. And we're going to get that when you're fighting on the inside as much as these two are. Moore was able to land a shot of his own, but few and far between. He's getting outlanded 39 to 11 through 2 rounds.
Well, that's the thing is when you give that distance to his opponent, the shorter guy, he's gonna be able to land because that's an opportunity for him to land the shots. And that's why Juana needs to stick with that jab, throw an uppercut right down the middle, throw that back, mix it up with the body as well.
Round 3 begins. And as we mentioned, Walton having a terrific round there in the territory that Mora wants to be in. Again, this is a guy who's dabbled in MMA, actually started as an MMA fighter, but found it was too expensive. You got to train too many disciplines, and then fell in love with boxing. But this is a guy who knows how to maneuver a man's body on the inside, and yet Walton is still always getting the best of these exchanges.
It's really impressive because it seems like Mora wants an inside fight, and Walton is beating him at his own game.
Hard body shot again. There was a right hook around the guard, and then that left hand right down the middle, right along the belt line of Anthony Mora.
Well, a lot of the time what you were saying, Corey, is because Juana is giving himself that angle where he can't be hit and be able to hit right down the middle because Mora is right there.
It's not often in a fighter's career that their second pro fight is looked at as a turning point. But for Juana Walton, on March 2nd of 2024, he fought Joshua Torres to a draw, and that was on the Amanda Serrano card. Jake Paul was fighting on that card. He didn't come out on top. The crowd kind of turned on him. It was kind of an eye-opening experience for Walton, but what I've seen from him and since that moment is like a maturation process. It could have been a sink or swim moment. He could have said, you know what, I don't need this. I can go back to acting, go back to doing just about anything. And you can see that he's really dedicated himself, and he's came out and fought Hanley a different way that he's fighting Mora tonight. So you see that maturation process over the last 2 years.
His uppercuts starting to land for Walton, the ones that Nonito was calling for. And you know what? That draw might have been one of those blessings in disguise. The moment where the pressure is off a little bit, but also people realize, yeah, you are a real fighter. I'm not just in here because I'm a celebrity. This is a real career.
He wanted to prove a point. I actually do believe it was a blessing in disguise.
100%, I believe in that. Anything that you have from the beginning that's a challenge will make you grow, will make you sink or swim, right? Just like how my second fight was.
That's wild. Losing your second pro fight, going on to a Hall of Fame career. Maybe seeing, Marquez, Hopkins lost their first fights. And he didn't lose. I mean, he got a draw. It was those 4 rounders, which are so tricky. And tonight, it's his first 6-round fight, which I think will better show off his skills.
Anthony Mora giving Juana Walton a tough physical test here that Walton has been standing up to and dominating to this point as he lands another uppercut. Takes a left hook there from Mora.
Yeah, Mora's starting to land. He's starting to find a home for that right hand. And he's starting to do what he said he was going to do at the beginning of this fight. That was kind of bully Juana.
Good combination there from Walton, and that'll do it for the round.
So Mora definitely has Mora definitely coming in here wanting to show up, But Juana is going to do what he does. You know, again, that uppercut is always going to land because of Mora's coming in with his head forward.
That's a great angle right there.
And with that distance, he's going to get hit with shots because that's just the zone to be hit, you know? But Juana is taking that, you know, he's taking that into consideration. But to be able to land his uppercut and again that left hook as he's getting himself out into a distance where he's not getting hit.
We heard the final instructions from the Walton corner before round 4 began. Box, box, box.
He's been doing that. I have him up 3 rounds to none. He's averaging 86 thrown punches around, Walton. He's landing 30% of his power shots. You know, the jab really hasn't been there. He hasn't really needed to throw a jab because it's such a close, you know, fighting close quarters.
Well, and Dan, you could certainly speak to this. Those numbers, that speaks to the athleticism, the cardio of Juan Walton. It's not often that you see guys throw 80-plus punches around while fighting off the back foot, so to speak, right? It's very, very rare.
Great point. It's very, very rare. And in that first round when he came out and threw 80, I was like, wow, that's a high number for Juan. I want to see if he can keep that up. And he has. He's dipped down a tiny bit, but, you know, being at 70 punches thrown around, that's a good number for Juan Walton.
So pot shot left hand there from Walton, make it 2.
Well, that's all what we call experience, right? Being able to be focused, but at the same time learning how much of your movement is actually counting, is actually effective.
Or how much is necessary, I'm sure, is what you're saying, too, right? Well, you don't have to move too much.
I'm a sharpshooter, so
right.
When I hit somebody, I hit them right, and when they get hit, it's going to be painful. But that's something that Juana needs to learn. Post up with that jab and then throw an uppercut right down the middle.
That was low.
Warning there for Anthony Mora. And Walton will be given a little reprieve here.
Well, now let's see if the punch count goes down a little bit.
Take a look back at what was a fairly low blow there.
Yep. Another look at this. Yep, just right below the belt line.
No question about that.
You know, the thing is, when your groin protector is being moved, I mean, it pushes something in there that hurts. Oh, good combination.
Thank you for that medical analysis, Flash.
Yes,
appreciate
indeed.
it.
Yes, indeed.
Nice uppercut there from Juan Walton. It's pushing the chin up of Anthony Moore. That's what you meant, right? Anthony Moore looking for an uppercut of his own, but the left hand of Juan Walton gets there first. Again, on the final 30 seconds of the round.
A little bit of adversity here for Walton, you know.
And this is the kind of fight that he needs to be in. You know, little things, little angles. He can't be leaning forward. He needs to learn to move his head a little bit here. See, at that angle right there.
Yeah.
That's what he should be doing more.
The last 30 seconds, Moore got a couple shots in. I'm doing a little
that cross-arm defense as well to really bully his way to the inside.
Well, that's what he said he wanted to do.
And he's doing it.
Yeah, he is. More not effectively. Like, I think it took him to like the 4th round to start bullying, but easier said than done. I still scored that round for Walton, but Mora did have his moments. As you can see there, landed on the chin. And was able to land maybe 3 or 4 punches in the final minute of that round. Still thought Walton did the better work for the first 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
You know, and that's something that you have to be able to be aware in the fight. You have to step back or else you'll get hit with something like that. You know, especially when you have a person who's coming in, a fighter coming in here or in there with who constantly step forward.
2 to go here in the main event of our preliminary card. Juan Walton and Anthony Mora. Make sure you follow along on the MVP socials for behind-the-scenes content on this fight and our whole night of fights. As Anthony Mora steps in with a left hook that connects there.
Well, Mora's coming in a lot more aggressive compared to the previous. More aggressive.
Yeah, he's been able to find a home. He had some good momentum at the end of round 4, and he's taken it here into round 5. Now we're going to see what type of adjustment that Wana makes.
Well, the thing that Wana just did was put an angle and then threw a punch right there in the middle, just like that, right hand, and then shift off to the right side.
Anthony Mora certainly coming to fight here tonight.
He's woken up.
This is one of those lessons that prospects learn on their way up, and Nonito, you can certainly speak to this. There'll be those nights where you land nearly everything and it doesn't get the guy out of there. And how do you cope with that mentally? How do you adjust as the fight goes on?
That's very true. And these kind of fight is what makes them get to the next level. So he just needs to go in there, stay focused, and not get hit with things. You know, go back into your mental note and do something that worked early on. And try to execute that all over again, because at this point, this is where you're getting hit. You know what? I got to do something different.
Well, and credit to the durability of Anthony Mora here tonight, because there are a lot of fighters that could reasonably have been matched with Juan Walton here tonight who would not be standing right now here in the 5th round after this offensive output from Walton.
Especially the body work. You know, he's been landing some good body shots, and as Wana connects on a right hand upstairs. Yeah, Mora is tough. He's gained. You know, they were able to find a durable opponent for Walton as he stepped up his first 6-rounder.
Now, this is a really good fight for Walton. This is something that will make him better.
But this feels like a real fight. You know what I mean?
This
like
is
his
a
first
real
couple
fight.
fights,
This
we
is
were
a real
learning
fight,
about
bro.
who he was.
Right.
Who is Juan Walton? Is he an actor? Is he a boxer? This is a fight right here.
Why is Juan Walton?
I get real philosophical here. But going back to your point about having to switch to a plan B, it must be so hard to do that while you're so mentally and physically exhausted to think, all right, plan A is working, I got to step it up into another game plan.
Right.
Good shot there from Mora a moment ago. Mora just bringing it here this round. Just 3 amateur fights for Anthony Mora. He has learned on the job. This is a fighter through and through who is making Juan Walton work here tonight. More sharp left hand there from Walton. And we've got 1 round to go here on the prelims.
Yeah, Mora, he sees the momentum from the previous round. Had a great 30 seconds and he brought that into round 5. Because I had him winning that round, first round that he won in this fight. Walton also was able to get his shots in as well.
This is one of those things for Wana to be able to slow down the opponent, right? By throwing some jabs in there, double jabs in there, and then throwing some feint, right? So slow down, learn how to slow down a fight, especially when you get somebody coming in like that. By feigning, by throwing the double jabs, because the more that you get hit, the more that your opponent is going to be willing to go in there.
Well, like that, Anthony Mora obviously feeling a little bit of confidence right now. And this is brand new terrain. Again, we have to reiterate that for Juan Walton. He's never been this deep in a fight, and he's never faced this kind of a rugged test that he's experiencing tonight.
Yeah, this guy's 15, 16 years older than him, got more experience, not at the amateur level, but in the pro level, for sure. But I like what I've seen from Walton. You know, being able to keep that 80 punch around count. Very consistent with that. Maybe jab a little more. Only landed 6% of his jabs.
I would like to see more jabs from Juana, more feints from Juana, you know, and keep that distance. He should be able to get hit with those shots. Should be able to pull his opponent forward, reach in, and then counter off after that.
Yeah, only less than 20 combined landed jabs in this fight from both fighters, so it's more of a power punch display.
Yeah, after about round 2, this became mostly an inside fight, or as tight of a circle as Walton has wanted to work within here.
Well, look at the ring. We have a very small ring tonight.
Very, very small ring.
We got a lot of rounds on this prelim. Usually they say small ring equals a lot of knockouts, right?
Well, it's equal to action.
A lot of action.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, as the discussion in boxing, how can we create less running? How can we let the standing trade? Let's make a smaller ring. But actually just think that shows off more of your skill.
Closing in on the final minute of the contest.
Good learning experience this fight for Walton. He's going to win.
Sharp left hand there from Walton a moment ago.
4 rounds to 2, maybe 5 rounds to 1. But started strong, weathered the storm in those middle rounds. I think it's ending strong here too.
Yeah, it's a maturing type of performance for Juana Walton and a maturing experience for him.
Needed this. This is the fights that you absolutely need on the come up. He only has 3 professional fights.
Final 30 seconds as the Mora corner begging for more from their fighter. He's been giving it all he's got for several rounds now.
Yeah, Mora brought it too. Started a little slow, but he gave what he was supposed to do in here tonight. He gave a good fight to Juana Walton. Provide durability. Ooh, nice right hand there from Mora.
There from Mora. He will not quit, and that will do it. A very fun fight here between Juana Walton and Anthony Mora. They went to war for 6 rounds.
Big respect for both guys. Big learning experience for Juana, you know, and Mora showing up and giving them that lesson. You know, he's passing on how to be tough, how to become a true fighter. You know, because at this moment he was tested, his heart, his mind, and much more. And this is only going to propel him to the next level.
Let's take a look back at some of the highlights from this one. This was a fun fight from start to finish.
Yeah, a lot of early action there from Juana, setting the tone early, throwing 80 punches in round 1. A lot of lateral movement, a lot of in and out movement. It was during those middle rounds where Mora started to find his confidence, started to find his accuracy, pushed back Juana a few times in those middle rounds. But I believe that Juana did enough to secure a unanimous decision. I have him winning 4 of the 6 rounds. The punch stats were pretty impressive too. An average of 93 punches thrown around for Juana Walton. Good
All right,
stuff.
we're ready to make this one official. Let's hand it back to Big Bo.
Yeah, one second. Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 full rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for the official decision. All 3 judges see the contest 60 to 54, declaring your winner by unanimous decision, Juana Walton!
So Juana Walton remains undefeated, and we will send it up to Ariel Helwani, who's standing by with Juana.
All right, guys, thank you very much here with the victorious and still unbeaten Juana Walton, your first 6-round fight. How did you feel going those 2 extra rounds here?
I felt good, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, I definitely felt a difference. You know, I mean, it's just like, I know for the first couple of every single one, there's going to be a difference. It's definitely a game changer. I'm looking forward to keep kind of climbing the rankings as far as rounds. So,
not enough made of the fact that you are still 19 years young. You're fighting a 36-year-old man out there and beating him and doing so rather decisively. Was he tougher than you expected him to be given all of that?
Absolutely. I'm not going to lie. Like, I really have to show props to Anthony Mora. You know, I feel like I can hit pretty hard and I'm a powerful hitter, but he was able to be there and eat some pretty crazy shots. and not only eat them, but come forward while doing it. And I think that's what I wasn't expecting most. So my cardio definitely had a little bit of a toll from that. But, you know, God bless him and God bless his family. I just want to thank the Lord for this victory tonight, and many more to come.
Thank you so much. Montreal, make some noise for the victorious Juana Walton.
Thank you so much, Ariel. Juana Walton, victorious, still undefeated. What a learning experience and what a fight there from Juana Walton. As we look ahead to our main card at the top of the hour, live on DAZN, Sol Cudos and Kim Clavel, the IBF mini flyweight title on the line. Tam Thibault back in action. Join us, the top of the hour, live on DAZN.
Better?